All right, guys, welcome back to the House of Glass here on YouTube. Today, we are looking at the Challenger, the new archetype coming for the Remnant 2. If you guys didn't get a chance to play the first Remnant, highly recommend you go spend the $20 right now and go play through it before this comes out. The only unfortunate thing about this game is I think it's going to get washed over a little bit if it comes out in the Diablo 4 launch window, but that's okay. Let's go check out this trailer. Let's watch it once all the way through, and then we'll go through and kind of break down some of the stuff. I was a huge fan of the first game. I'm very excited to see what they do with the second game, but let's go ahead and get into the trailer. Here we go.
In Remnant 2, you'll often find yourself in dangerous combat scenarios. When you want to stare death directly in the face and laugh, it's time for the Challenger. This is Tragic from Gunfire Games, bringing you another archetype breakdown. The Challenger is the close to mid-range destroyer. They intimidate their enemies with their mere presence and administer brutal damage to anyone foolish enough to cross their path. Their perks are designed around dealing heavy damage, wearing heavy armor, and heavily reducing the damage of all nearby enemies. But wait, there's more. The key to their fearlessness is the prime perk, Die Hard. When the Challenger receives fatal damage, they pound the ground in anger and let the enemy know, not today. Though on a long cooldown, Die Hard allows the Challenger a second chance to finish the fight. And fighting is the Challenger's specialty. Their first skill, War Stomp, rattles the ground and sends a high-impact shockwave towards their foes. Multiple charges makes dealing with swarms of enemies or staggering a resilient elite light work. Their second skill, Juggernaut, turns the Challenger into an unrelenting, unstoppable force. They take drastically reduced damage, easily brush off impacts, and gain a buff to movement speed, and melee damage. Don't you know who I am? Their third skill, Rampage, creates an all-out killing machine. The Challenger immediately gains a fire rate, reload speed, and movement speed buff. As they deal damage, they gain rage stacks, which further increases range damage. When they've attained maximum stacks, the Challenger goes berserk, which doubles all bonuses. Absolute, unadulterated destruction. Rounding out their kit is the archetype trait, Strongback. It reduces armor encumbrance, allowing players to wear heavier armor without the weight penalty. An amazing unlock that can mesh well in any build where you want toughness and agility. Players who enjoy being in the thick of battle while overpowering any foe that steps in their path will love the Challenger. If death is the question, Challenger is the answer.
All right, let's get into this. So first off, I really like what they're doing with Remnant, right? They're where they took the first game and they had it was kind of it was a little bit of a mismatch. I don't know what just went off there. It was a little bit of a mismatch or mishmash of classes and skills, and you could kind of make anybody you wanted. I like how they're focusing on archetypes this time. There's a bunch of other ones. If you guys want to know, if you guys want to see some of the other ones, let me know in the comments, but let's go ahead and walk through this trailer real quick.
In Remnant 2, you'll often find yourself in dangerous combat scenarios. When you want to stare death directly in the face and laugh, it's time for the Challenger. This is Tragic from Gunfire Games.
So there's another one coming out too. I can't remember the archetype. It is Gunslinger. That was the other one.
Another archetype breakdown. The Challenger is the close to mid-range destroyer. They intimidate their enemy.
So that's the other thing I want to bring up real quick too, is the first game had a real problem with melee as far as I was concerned, right? I don't think they did melee very good in the first one. It was just, it felt like an afterthought. Whereas this one, they're really, this class, and there's another class, I can't remember what it is, but there seems to be a lot of melee options in this game that are really, really nice.
Enemies with their mere presence and administer brutal damage to anyone foolish enough to cross their path. Their perks are designed around dealing.
All right, let's go back here and look at these perks.
Perks are designed.
Die Hard is their prime perk. That's when receiving fatal damage, the challenger becomes invulnerable for 5 seconds and regenerates 100% of max health. Can happen once every 10 minutes. Close quarters is a damage perk. Gain up to 40% ranged and melee damage to all enemies within 7 meters. Damage bonus tapers off until 13 meters. Critical chances increase by up to 10% at the same range. Damage increases with challenger level. Okay. Intimidating Presence. This is a team perk. After activating the Challenger skill, enemies within 10 meter deal 10% less damage for 15 seconds with an additional 2.5% damage reduction per enemy affected. Max 10%. Powerlifter is a utility perk. Both the additional stamina cost increase for each weight bracket and stamina regen delay are reduced by 50%. And then Face of Danger is your relic perk. Using a relic within 10 meters of an enemy grants 2 stacks of bulwark and 10% increased damage for 10 seconds. All right.
Dealing heavy damage, wearing heavy armor, and heavily reducing the damage of all nearby enemies. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Key to their fearlessness is the prime perk, Die Hard. When the challenger receives fatal damage, they pound the ground in anger.
See, that's really cool because in the first game, it was kind of a pain once you got downed to get up. You either had to use the, I can't remember what the heart's called, the dragon heart, or you had to have a buddy there to get you up. But that's, if you can manage your damage for 10 minutes at a time and keep this perk rotating, that's pretty awesome.
Let the enemy know, not today. Though on a long cooldown, Die Hard allows the challenger a second chance to finish the fight. And fighting is the challenger's specialty. Their first skill, Warfare, rattles the ground and sends a high-impact shockwave towards their foes. Multiple charges makes dealing with swarms of enemies or staggering.
What was the move from Outriders that the Earth character had, the Sentinel? Was it a Sentinel? Was it a Titan? Titan. No, Titan's Destiny. The hell is the one from Outriders? Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. We stomp the ground. This is what that move reminds me of.
Light work.
I like that there's a lot more stagger in this. All right, so then there's Juggernaut. Become nearly unstoppable, gaining bulwark. L3, 15% increased movement and melee speed, 50% increased melee damage. Stagger damage is reduced by 1 and lasts 25 seconds. Cooldown 42 seconds. That's friggin' melee. 50% increased movement and melee speed and 50% melee damage. Wild.
Turns the challenger into an unrelenting, unstoppable force. They take drastically reduced damage, easily brush off impacts, and gain a buff to movement speed, and melee damage. Don't you know who I am? Their third skill, Rampage. Oh,
they really flew by that one, didn't they? What does Rampage do? Enter a heightened state of battle, which increases fire rate, 15% reload speed, 10%, dealing high damage to enemies, grants 1 stack of rage, which increases range damage by 5% per stack. Upon reaching 10 stacks, the challenger goes berserk, which reloads their current firearm and double rampage effect for 20. So if you can reach 10 stacks within 20 seconds, you are getting an extra 20 seconds and doubling this effect. Or am I reading this to understand that this is, we're doubling? So this starts at 15% and reload speed by 20 and movement speed by 10. And then this increases range damage by 5% per stack. So you're getting 50% range damage. So the challenger goes berserk, which reloads their current weapon and doubles rampage effects for 20 seconds. So the question here is the way I read this is you're getting 100% range damage, 30% fire rate, 20% movement speed, and 40% reload speed for an additional 20 seconds once you reach the 10 stacks, because you're doubling all the effects that you have. That's pretty violent.
Creates an all-out killing machine. The challenger immediately gains a fire rate, reload speed, and movement speed buff. As they deal damage, they gain rage stacks, which further increases range damage. When they've attained maximum stacks, the challenger goes berserk, which doubles all bonuses.
Okay, they do. They said it right there. Doubles all things for another 20 seconds.
Unadulterated destruction.
I guess if we watch the video, chat, we get the answers we want.
Out their kit is the archetype trait, Strongback.
Okay, so here's your first archetype. So you're lowering encumbrance here.
Armor encumbrance, allowing players to wear heavier armor without the weight penalty. An amazing unlock that can mesh well in any build where you want toughness and agility. Players who enjoy being in the thick of battle while overpowering any foe that steps in their path will love the Challenger. If death is the question, Challenger is the answer.
All right. So my one, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, my one concern here is this says summer 2023. I can't imagine this is going to launch within the Diablo window. And they're now competing with, so Diablo comes out next week for early access, the 6th. For the other one. And then you've got the first season for Diablo coming out sometime in, they said towards the end of July. Top of August, maybe. We'll see. So I would imagine that summer 2023 will be maybe mid-July for this game, if I had to guess. But either way, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool. Anyway, I appreciate it. If you guys like the content, and as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to make sure you can see when I'm posting new things. If you want me to do more, I can go back and do the other Remnant classes. Just let me know in the comments if you want my commentary on the Gunslinger and the Handler. Happy to go back and do those. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and we will catch you soon. Later.